Dock in Hobart. Well, those were words we weren't expecting to say at about 6:40. Our COVID test was so delayed, it was beyond reasonable for the Tassie government to let us in, but miracles, same day testing, and here we are, 11:30 at night. Approaching. So a very quick summary of where we're at. We're going to be going out in media boats at about midnight tonight. In the lead, Blackjack, which rounded Tasman, or reported in at Tasman Light at about 9:50 this evening, and made an ETA of 2:15 over the line. Pretty hard to predict that one, looking at what's in front of us here, because you can see a glass out on the dock. All that said, she's now something in the region of 11 nautical miles ahead of Law Connect. So in fact, as it stands now, Blackjack's well into Storm Bay, doing quite nicely at about 9 knots. There's still a bit of breeze in Storm Bay. Law Connect's just about rounding, and then a few miles behind her is Scallywag. This sort of conditions is certainly going to suit Blackjack better than Law Connect, but hell, when we get to the river here, there. Predict wind is sort of showing the guys at the moment in southwesterlies, sort of, up to 12 knots maybe max. They've spent a pretty tough afternoon just tacking down into very light southwesters. Boat speeds anywhere between about 9 and 12 knots at max. And then, of course, when they get into the river, it looks pretty much like closed down here. None of the flags that we're looking at over in the background is moving whatsoever. There's probably about 1 or 2 knots at the best here. So those three are the nearest thing to a finish, 2:15 or thereabouts. We're hoping to be reporting live from the boats as the line, and then there's a long way back before Stefan Racing, and beyond them Whisper, and then back into the TP52s, and we're talking a long way back. I think RSHYR, which is still in Bass Strait, 230 nautical miles to go. That's about a third of the race still to be done, and worse still for those guys, any number of little hurdles of holes all over the place in this high, which has been persisting all the way across the eastern side of Tasmania. My apologies, I think I called it Tasman Island, Tasmania. So it's going to be very interesting to see. This would be, I think, well-deserved if this was a win for Blackjack. She's been in this race for a long while. Peter Harberg's put a lot into this. We thought we'd said goodbye to her because they were heading to Europe last year. And, of course, with COVID, the boat came back. And so this was going to be, I think, probably a pretty popular win if she gets it. Remains to be seen, of course. There's a long way to go even at this point. So she's 23 nautical miles away from the finish, so that means she's got about 11 miles to 12 miles maybe to the Iron Pot, which is where the river starts, and then they've got all the fun and games of trying to get up in a close down, which is very much what this looks like. So should be interesting on the water. We'll report back tomorrow, later on, and then obviously as we can tomorrow get a clearer idea about how the rest of the fleet are going. But it looks like it's going to be a very long race for some of the guys at the back. Anybody who looked at Gun Runners run down the coast, she was still on the New South Wales coast, and she'd put in 25 tacks all the way down the coast there. Extraordinary stuff, but good stuff, good drill for the army guys. Anyway, we'll sign off now and look forward to seeing you hopefully just a little bit before we cross the finishing line in the next few hours. Farewell.